Gentlemen, welcome back to the LCO.
Base race?
It's a base race. They're marching, they're flashing, they're going to go for this one. I don't believe this. I do not believe this.
Only aim for perfection. Ain't no half stepping. I'm gonna take you back. Spitting facts, you gotta live with that. Who got it? Who won it? No problem. We mobbing in the city.
Shazam!
Do or die, it's either all or nothing. Best believe I'm leaving out with something. Anytime I got the crowd jumping, throwing rings, know they fist.
Just evaporated. Gudo locking them all in place, linking up with Kiyose. That's an ace.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's another beautiful week here on the LCO, delivered by Menulog. And look who I've found. It's Kitty. She's back. She's challenger. She's deserved this seat back on the couch. And she's definitely going to make the most of it while she's here. Of course, we've got Skimmo and Rusto over there on the left as well.
That's us, bruh.
Yeah. Why'd you change your names, by the way?
Oh, you know, a certain producer just made me feel a certain kind of way, got me inspired, ready to start to say things like this directly into the camera. Hello, Laura.
Loza, actually.
Loza!
But, like, almost
Good
there.
bit.
Either way, look, we had a lot of fun last week. We really did. It was a super week. We replaced you for a day. We had Carbon here, Kitty, and he had a damn good time watching all these games. So I know you were in chat, you're having a good time, and you were watching a couple of the bangers. So if you want to fill us in on what your favourite parts were?
Well, actually, I'm Carbon,
Oh.
but with the wig this time because
Right.
I did tell Carbon to bring the wig to replace me for that day, but he seems to have forgot and just kind of left it at home. I mean, well, I forgot and left it at home.
Yes.
And
Yep.
today I'd actually brought the wig. So yes, my name is Carbon. I'm Elise in One Trick, and yeah,
Based.
What's your last name?
Ivan.
Tim Ivan Wendell.
Yes.
There you go.
There
Yeah,
you go.
I dropped the pen, but
It's
yes,
easy to remember his last name if you say his first name. That's just true.
It really is.
But
It
yeah.
just sort of rolls off the tongue. Either way,
Great time, man.
crazy day of games. We had a fair few upsets last week through that Super Week. And look, we have some cool stats, cool graphics to show how all these teams actually did through the Super Week. But it means that was the only Super Week this split. Every other week is just a normal 2-day week. So back to the shorter shifts going into this week, going into today. Look, these games, though, were pretty banger, weren't they, Skinny?
Certainly were. Yeah, we saw in that game there, right, the major showdown between the likes of Peace and Order, where, I mean, that's really been a narrative for us, right? Not too sure really what we're going to get from Peace, you know, what side of the bed they're going to wake up on and what kind of performance they're going to deliver. But ultimately in that game, right, they went up against Order, who had a phenomenal early game. You thought they've got all the resources to close that one out, but proving that, you know, Belvev, Shyvana, and obviously Callista, yeah, ever too strong to be a bit of a nuisance. So I'm excited to see how their progress continues as the split ramps up.
Now ramping up indeed. Week 6 now, all bloody ready. It feels like this month and a half has gone in bloody, you know, click and you'll miss it, blink and you'll miss it, whatever you say. Standings though, Chiefs still undefeated, 11-0. I feel like a broken record because I can tell you tomorrow that's probably going to be 12-0. And then on the other side of the page, I guess, look, we do have a straight out second with Direwolves having a decent week last week for a 7-4 scoreline. And then a three-way tie again for third. So Peace, PGG, and Order all on 6-5, which, look, going into week 6, I never expected them to be all tied up still. No matter what happens, they just end up ending these weeks on such ridiculous scorelines. And Kanga's not too far behind after a perfect week last week, Kitty.
Yeah, we always mentioned that Order, PGG, Peace, Styles, and Cheese were the playoff teams. But with Kinga picking up a 3-0 Super Week, they are actually only one game behind the 5th spot or 3rd spot. And it's actually quite close in terms of who maybe Kinga will be able to elevate themselves into the playoffs.
Yeah.
From what they've been saying the entire split.
There's definitely a chance for that to happen. Let's have a look at today's games, what we're going to be feasting our eyes on today. So, kicking things off, PGG up against Grav, 7 p.m. We got Chiefs and Peace. This is going to be a true test for Peace to see how they bounce back and if they can maybe find some more dubs on the board. Direwolves and Order, having a look at that one, that is definitely going to be the match of the week because This one matters. This one really matters for both the teams. 9 p.m, Kanga and Mammoth. Another one which, look, last week I would have said is probably more Mammoth favored, or maybe the week before last. But after seeing both these teams perform last week, I think it's another coin flip here, Rusty.
Yeah, I mean, the games this week could be very exciting and very interesting for so many reasons, right?
Yeah.
Our match of the week is almost a battle for second, and that means that the Chiefs still have some good games for themselves to play against Peace, and like you just mentioned, Kanga Mammoth could go anywhere.
Yeah, it's just one of those things right now. Speaking of, match of the week, of course, is today, not tomorrow, but there are some big games tomorrow, so you should be watching anyway. But that's the third game of today at 8 p.m, so make sure you don't miss it. Order and Direwolves. Can Direwolves keep that second place? I guess we'll find out. Now, look, let's have a look at the new patch notes. Of course, we're going into 12.12b. So, slight changes, nothing too crazy going into this week. But alas, Skimmy, there are some changes.
There are some pretty big changes. The ones that really stood out to me, right? Another bit of a tap towards Belveth, trying to realize exactly where she should be in the standings of things, but I still imagine she's going to be one of those S-tier champions which fits the bill when teams need her. Obviously, Senna and Seraphine have been causing a fair bit of nuisance in the Rift. They've received a bit of a nerf to their root duration, right? Especially when you pair those two together. They could lock you down into infinity and beyond, so a slight tap towards them. I think, yeah, we got a bit of a nerf to the Wukong, so his clear speed's going to be a little bit reduced. And the big one for me that actually stood out was Yumi, her passive. No longer gets the extra attack range, so going to have a bit of a trade-off, right, when you're trying to proc that mana and shield back. So can't be anywhere near as forgiving to try and stay topped up and healthy in lane.
Oh, something that sticks out to me like a sore thumb here is Leona with a buff. Does that mean we're going to maybe see... It's a fake?
Yeah,
it's a fake buff.
So this patch notes, there's a lot of things that I just call like shaving off the top,
yes,
right, for the nerfs, and it's very similar for the buffs. They're all like kind of 1%ers.
Ah, well, there you go.
This whole patch, to me, it feels like they've actually catered this patch towards pro play a little bit more, because if you look at everything that's been nerfed, has been played, and with a high priority in competitive leagues. So
yeah,
I feel like this has been a really healthy patch in general, but not significant enough to need a great breakdown, besides the fact that Senna, I think, got actually tagged, where everything else got like a shaving off the top. There
you go. It is also sad that Incurzio's not here because that cat buff came through, and we don't get to see cat too often anymore. There was like two games. I can't remember how many times it got through, but it did pop off. Either way, we do have some Super Week results to have a quick look at. So this is how all the teams performed over the last 3 days of games. And you're looking at the left there, they're the good results. You're looking at the right, they're the worst results. And you might not have expected Order to be on that right side. You might not have expected Kanga to be up there with Chiefs on a 3-0. So Kitty, what are you looking at here?
I'm honestly looking at the middle where PGG, Peace, and Order all went 1-2, which is a negative win rate for Super Week, which was pretty not expected. And the most unexpected thing was Kanga with the 3-0. But I do want to credit that they have been looking a lot stronger from the Super Week, and they're just going to keep improving from that day on.
Yeah, well, look, Fido calling, it just seems to be the answer. And it's a perfect time to do it, right? When we're at that sort of midpoint of the round robin and it's about to go into the last half of games, that's when having that leadership is just going to be that much more important.
Yeah, I think they're very clearly making a surge at the right time, right? To build up towards playoffs. The only hope for Kanga is that they actually continue to build, and that this isn't just like a blip on the radar overall, but this is the perfect first step and timed perfectly for them to succeed and make playoffs.
It certainly is. And look, something else that helps is having a little bit of a streak. Mostly win streaks, lost streaks don't help too much, but we've got a sick graphic here to have a look at the streaks that all the teams are currently on. So there's only technically 2, unless you count 1 as a streak in terms of the win streaks. You've got Chiefs on 11 in a row, Kanga on 3 in a row after the perfect week last week, but then Direwolves, Peace, Mammoth all on 1 win, just 1 win, and then you got lost streaks for the other 3 remaining teams here. So what does this all mean at the moment, Rusty?
I mean, basically, the 2 things that we can say is that Gravitas are unequivocally last and the Chiefs are just unstoppably first.
Yes.
That's the 2 really big, obvious takeaways from this. Kanga with a massive 3-0 Super Week is great momentum, but there's been a full week break now. So the challenge for them is how are they going to actually look, and will this streak continue?
Yeah.
Because it only gets harder in reality to try and maintain a streak that you have. What it really means is that the fight for second place up until 7th place is just a mess. Like, there's no team that's really consistently getting enough wins to put together a streak. So it is completely up in the air. And it brings about an interesting conversation that I'll have lots of time to talk about later. But the concept of playing new things on stage is definitely brought into question with these.
Okay.
I think the bigger talking point for me, that I think the question's been thrown around a few times now, is who can actually continue the streak. Like, what's more likely that Chiefs go undefeated or Gravitas get a win? That's what I'm curious about, right? Like, what in theory sound harder to achieve? I'm not sure.
I don't know the answer, Skimmy.
You stumped me.
Well, we're a little bit too early for the stumping from the fans. We can look forward to that one.
Well, we're not there just yet.
Soon.
We still have another cracker segment before it. It's my favorite. It's probably you threes' favorite as well, other than the games. It is, of course, time for the LCO Champion Conundrum!
Is today the day luck's with you? Is it now your life could read you? Then you must play the game, cause I have to proclaim life's a...
So you guys like the hot seat millionaire man bloody multiple choice questionness that we did last week. So we've got that again. This time, a few more harder stats. We thought last week's, even though we were all pretty horrible at actually getting them correct, we've got some
speak for yourself, mate.
more difficult on paper stats to try to get as well. But fortunately, it's still multiple choice. So we got a 1 in 4 chance of still getting it right, even if you don't know.
I was the best at multiple choice in my test during high school.
Yeah.
So this is my
Is that a good or bad thing? Like to excel at multiple choice.
I loved
specifically?
multiple tests. Yeah, multiple choice tests because I just felt so good.
I love lots of tests.
I
I love multiple
multiple
tests.
tests.
Yes, I love education. Let's be educated together, team.
Anyway, let's start getting our brains
we're doing.
educated, of course. We've got a first one to have a look at. Let's see what it is. How much does a Giants belt cost?
League questions.
Is it A, 850 gold? Is it B, 900 gold? Is it C, 950 gold? Or is it D, 1K gold? Ooh. I feel like you guys got that real quick.
I could be wrong because I'm in my own head.
I'm in my own head
You can't
too,
overthink. You got to do snap decisions, right?
I did. We snap decision.
What's the I can't even remember what the Giants belt is. I think I do, but I still mostly
The
remember
belt
it
the
from
giant
TFT.
wears. His
3,
health.
2, 1, reveal.
I actually took a gamble. I wasn't sure if they reduced its cost.
They already did the answer. 900.
Yeah.
900?
Yeah,
Damn.
quick
Wait.
close up.
I
Quick
thought
close
I
up
got
on
it.
Oh, did you be?
on
Okay.
just me.
True. Yep.
It's good to have gameplay questions, isn't it?
I've been playing Seraphine for like 2 weeks straight and I only build Rylai's.
They reduced its cost this season, I think.
Yeah, that was one of the
It was
buffs
1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you're the
Buff
analyst,
the
mate.
giant belt. Either way,
That's
look,
it,
we've got
mate.
another
Yeah.
question.
Paycheck secured.
Lots of giant belts.
Rub those letters off unless you want to keep it for the next one. Doran's ring
I
grants you
think
plus 15 AP and plus what health? A, 50. B, 60. C, 70. D, 80. Three, two, one.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
B, A, B, C. Ooh, what is it?
A, B, C.
Yeah, nah,
C.
just lock it in. I'm in my zone.
This is too hard.
We know someone here buys Doran's rings, and it's not me. It's Rusty.
Yeah, right.
Rusty.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 from 2. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
That's
You're on
pretty
point,
good.
mate. You're on
How many
point.
weeks have I been asking for this? This version of this
I
segment.
haven't heard you ask once.
Yeah, today.
It's because I've been zoned out. Either way, look, third question.
The
Let's
economy is right here.
have a look. What is the build path for Zonya's Hourglass? Is it A, Seeker's Arm Guard plus Stopwatch plus Fiendish Codex plus 50 gold? Is it B, Seeker's Arm Guard plus Stopwatch plus Fiendish Codex plus 150 gold? Is
Wow.
it C, Needlessly Large Rod plus Stopwatch plus Fiendish Codex plus 50 gold? Or is it D, Needlessly Large Rod plus Stopwatch plus Fiendish Codex plus 150 gold?
It's fun hosting, isn't it?
Yeah, that was real fun.
Bit of cheeky play-by-play there, Mac.
Yeah, I think I know the answer.
I
3,
don't know the answer.
2, 1, bam. A, B, B, A. Which one is it? A. Damn.
No!
Because I remember
Oh
I was
my
always
God.
I got
surprised.
everyone wrong.
I was
Me
always
too.
surprised. You'd go back for that last component, and I'm like, oh wait, I only need 50, and you just
Unless you
I'm the
have
AFK guy.
the rune stopwatch, I think it's 350
Oh, does it cost
because
more?
there is an equivalent value that the rune compensates. Yeah.
There you go. No.
it's
Production. Look, you
350.
should have known that. You should have put that up. Anyway, fourth question. Rusty's 3 from 3. I got that one. So
Nothing.
think about it. Which one of these items does Sheen not build into? Is it A, Divine Sunderer? Is it B, Lich Bane? Is it C, Storm Razor? I don't even know what that is. Is it D, Trinity Force?
Oh, no.
What's a Storm Razor?
If I fail this, I quit.
Get ready to quit.
Is my job safe? Is my job safe? I've got the smartest man right next to me.
Looking like an Alt F4 angle from Skimmy.
No, Alt F4, leave the building.
All right, I'm going to just go 3, 2, 1, bam.
Nah, you got it.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Kitty. It was Storm Razor. There you go. What is Storm Razor?
Storm Razor is the attack speed crit AD item that like the first auto attack slows
It used to be really
after
popular.
it charges. Yeah, it's one of
When was
the
the
one of the
last
like
time I saw it?
3 energized items in the game. That
builds it
was
nowadays?
like a Caitlyn only item now, I think.
Yeah, right. I'd have to see the picture to be like, oh, yeah, that one.
Kha'Zix players don't need to deal in Storm Razors. You're all
Thank you.
good.
What about Shiv? Like, well, Shyvana can like build kind of anything anyway, right? Yeah, definitely can.
Shiv, mate.
By the way, one last question. Let's
there's
have a
another
look
one.
at what it is. Which one of these mythic items has a unique passive called Coruscation?
the hell is that?
God damn. A, Imperial Mandate. B, Evan Shroud. C, Immortal Shield Bow. D, Riftmaker.
What does coruscation?
Coruscation.
Alright, there's a strat where you never go for A and D when you're guessing. You go for the middle two. I'm gonna do a good.
Coruscate.
Like Imperial Mandates thing could
Coruscate.
definitely be that, but I just don't know what the hell that is. So I'm just gonna literally stab.
It does sound like a very regal word, like
I'm trying to think how would you
coruscation.
use it in a sentence. If it's like a spelling bee contest, like we went down to the local park and coruscated.
What is the origin of the word?
Yeah,
Can
origin
we
of
get
words.
the origin of the word?
Definition.
By the way, 3,
Example.
2,
Not sure
1,
about this one.
bam. Oh, it was B, C, B, B. Is it B? Oh, up top, knew that. Rusty,
Doesn't
5
miss.
from 5.
Doesn't miss.
What a day.
It's because the chopsticks broke. I swear to God.
Actual is. Hey, the curse doesn't lie. You
Well,
win TFT, it's a good day.
Technically, Kitty, we all got the chopsticks, and you had to break them to use them, so they
Yeah.
all broke. Yours just
But-
broke weird.
Mine broke weird, so that means I'm never gonna win anything today. And Rusty's 5-0.
Beautiful.
We're on
Well,
the board.
please have this one. Either way, not only have we answered... Oh, thank you. You got that? Not only have we answered those questions from production, apparently, from the fans, you guys sent in a bunch of questions to try to stump us today.
Here we go.
So we're actually really excited for this. We didn't peek. We didn't look. I think Kitty and I both actually sent
I
our own
picked
questions.
one question.
Not too sure if they get in there.
Me
Either
too.
way, at LCO on Twitter, if you do want to ask those questions, try to confuse us. If we have any extra time today, we'll throw them up. But we've got plenty here to have a look at now. So let's pull them up and see if we can be stumped. Bernhardt, according to League Wiki, what is the 1 melee range artillery mage? First in, best
Silas.
dressed. Silas? That would make sense.
I mean, artillery.
Artillery mage? I'm thinking,
I mean, you could steal Zerathult and be an artillery as Silas, so that makes sense. Like, technically
You're
would.
true? I didn't think
well,
of that.
we don't actually have answers
But,
for
like,
this,
Bard
do
is
we?
technically
Oh,
a
we
global
don't.
I guess we
champion.
don't
We'll
have
never
answers.
know the answer.
Oh, true. What is spitballing now?
Well, either
Well,
way,
like, what
we're
is a-
going to go with
yeah,
Silas.
is a very good guess.
And if we're wrong, you
We're
can
right.
tell us.
They're wrong.
The production says maybe Jace. So
That also does
Yeah?
make sense because you can become melee.
True.
But the artillery is
He's
in
a
ranged
mage?
form.
true.
Jace's base form when he leaves the base, I think, is ranged. I wonder how that...
Okay, well, we have a lot to go through, so we're just going to have to take stabs in the dark.
You've
hope
stumped
we're
us.
right.
Well done.
I
Yeah,
disagree.
Congratulations, you've stumped us, Bernhardt. Let's have a look
I
at
like
the next
Silas.
one. We do have Black Nico. So, did you know Zillion was named after who?
Albert Einstein.
The one you can't kill in.
Actually,
I don't know.
do we know?
He
Oh, it was
looks
a
like
stab.
Albert
That's a pretty
Einstein.
good guess. That's probably what I'd say, actually.
Father Time. Maybe in another language.
Yeah.
It was
I'm going to
named
go with
after
that.
an
I'm
old
going to
guy.
go with I'm stumped. Congratulations,
Doctor
Black Nico.
Strange.
Let's have
Why
a
are we
look.
congratulating them? Isn't that the default?
They're trying to stump us.
Thank you for your submission.
The
Thanks for
multiverse
the
of Zillion.
submission. We're stumped. They're going to get a kick out of stumping us. Let's look at number 3. What is... No, this is from me. At MacMate_ on Twitter. You should follow that guy. Thanks, Mac. What is Rusty's base AD at level 1?
How do we quantify this?
Well, I was going to like look at Set's base AD and sort of go off that because I feel like you're that build, but like not as jacked.
What is Set's base AD at level 1? I'm going to say 76. No, 67.
Okay.
I'm going to swap it around.
What is the highest at level 1? Who
I
would be
can-
like the highest champion
I'll
at level
fact
1?
check this
Probably
and come
Meganar.
back in the post-match.
Meganar?
Meganar
No,
is
look.
usually an exception to every rule.
I guess it would be.
Okay.
I'm thinking it would be a bruiser.
Be a top melee champion. Maybe
What would your base AD be?
What would you
I'm thinking,
you
like-
want your base AD to be, Rusty? Let me go with that.
69.
Lock it in, Eddie.
Lock her in, Eddie. Look, we've got a few more to go through. Let's have a look at what this next one is. It's Calvin, our man Calvin. What's the hierarchy of resurrection abilities in the game?
Ooh.
GA, champion passives, Zillion R, and Renata W. So
I'll
it's
let
like,
you guys
what
go
comes,
first.
I think I
Do you
noticed.
know?
I don't know how the Renata W functions, but I'm pretty sure before it was Zillion R,
As the best?
GA passive. I think that's how it used to go, Zillion R, GA passive. But I assume now it's probably Renata W at the top. That can then, if you don't get the bailout proc, it then procs the other resurrections.
Does Renata's W
I've never tried.
make Zillion's R like last longer? Or
No,
is it
so what I think it is, and I'm guessing, is Zillion Ultimate because it has priority over everything. So I
Yep.
think Chrono Shift is like definitive #1 regardless.
Okay.
And then I think what would happen is Renata's W just wouldn't take effect if the Zillion Ultimate is on that person.
Yep.
However, it would then go Renata W, and then it would go Guardian Angel into champion passives because most champion passives are undead related,
Like a Nivea or whatever.
like
Yeah.
a Nivea and Sion.
Zac,
So
Sion.
Right,
Yeah.
like the way that they work.
Zillion R, Renata W, GA champion passive.
And hopefully that's right. Calvin, just add him on
That's a
Twitter
good
and
one.
tell him if he's right. We have one more to
Love your
go
work,
through.
Calvin.
One more to go through. Calvin, see you later. Fedora the Explorer, what do we got? Who gave Nunu his flute and
Okay,
what is
Kitty.
it called?
Willump.
Hello,
Tell us the lore.
Kitty. Lure us
Tell
up.
us.
Even.
Nunu has a flute?
Yeah, have you seen his dance?
No?
He plays the flute in the dance.
Really?
Yeah, they both dance.
You can play Nunu.
Alright, I'm gonna give it a guess. It's a yodel.
A yodel.
Do you guys think Nunu's actually a yodel? He's this tiny
Is Willem?
boy.
Willump's the beast,
Willem's
right?
a
The
snow-
Yeti.
Yeah, the Yeti.
I always get that one mixed around.
Do we? But
We-
does the yodel have a name?
I don't
Or do
think.
we just?
Isn't Nuna just a child?
I reckon it. I'm gonna
I
say
think it was just a
Ivern.
child.
Ivern, kind of like Groot. You know how he like used his no spoilers to be an axe. Ivern used a stick to be a twig.
Kitty's thinking.
But he's musical.
That's
He
a-
travels
yeah, very good
around.
guess.
He
Okay.
gives music to everyone. He
Okay.
just summons a flute out of his like hand. I don't know.
I don't know where it comes
Yeah, I
from.
don't know where you
He
got
just
it.
has a flute.
He just got a flute, man.
From
Now
his
look,
sleeve.
that's it for From the Fans. Get those questions
that was
in.
good.
If you have any more and you want to stump us, we were definitely stumped with all those ones. Congratulations, you bloody smart asses. Now look, let's get on to the match discussion. PGG Gravitas, we're going to talk this team first. It's PGG. They're looking stellar. They're looking stunning. And they're also looking to bounce back, Skimmy, after what happened to them last week.
They certainly are, right? For them, they've had moments,
Yeah.
but the moments need to be a little bit more consistent, I guess. I mean, the biggest one that stood out for us was Yuri's 1v9 performance on that Giga Chad build of the Silas. 50k damage as a melee champion, unfathomable. I mean, certainly, once again, had us constricted on the couch as to should we be giving MVP to one of the losing players, but he was firing on all cylinders, the rest of his team weren't. Balkan, a little bit of an uncharacteristic few weeks, right? He's not really hit the full peak performance that we know and love him for, but I would much rather it happen now and sort of rediscover that in those later weeks coming into playoffs, right? That's when you want to hit that form check. So teams that are starting to come into it, like Kanga, for example, it's a good time, and I'm sure Pentanet won't be feeling under too much pressure to worry about the results as it stands.
And look, shout outs to PGG. They've been media dayed. They're looking. What was Rogue about to do with that smoke, hey? Either way, we've got to talk about Gravitas here as well. You got Toppy. We'll mention him first, so Twitch chat starts popping off. Lenia De Jong.
Toppy!
Thomas
Toppy.
Shen, still in that 80 role, and Piglet filling in sup. Doing a pretty decent job so far, but still hasn't led to a dub. So the question for you, Rusty, is how do they find that dub today?
By killing the enemy nexus. Mac, next question.
Kitty,
no.
Kitty, what do you have to say about Gravitas?
I actually want to applaud that. I think Lenya, although it's his first split playing as a jungler for LCO, he's been probably doing one of the better. He's been doing a bit better than the rest of his team, where he's picking the Udyr, which was pretty impactful twice. I think he was the only one carrying one of the games when he first picked it out. So yeah, I don't know. I think Lenya definitely shouldn't be underestimated. Maybe he has the potential to become a better, but yeah.
I mean, we heard.
Can
we
I
heard
put
in
my
a-
hand up quickly? I just
Yes.
need to say I don't want to see any more Udyr. It's not working. Just play Hecarim.
I mean, I agree. At some point, it's just like it's too difficult to execute with the rest of your team losing. What,
Yep.
what we heard from Gravitas in one of their media interviews that they did was that they need to work on their mid to late game. That was something that the team seemed to agree upon as a point of weakness. But I said this last time, and I'll say it again: if you get to every mid to late game 10,000 gold down, it is very hard to execute that correctly. So they need to actually work on winning early game. And I think that just going for these slow-paced, full-kit clear junglers that can't gank very well aren't the play.
Yeah.
And they should be focused on like having successful mid ganks and mid roams.
Okay.
Is Elise a viable pick right now?
I mean, if your name's Nathan Mott 1 through 4, absolutely.
Sybil's on a plane right now.
Yeah.
He's coming
Sybil
back.
said, Elise, and just booked a ticket. He's back.
Heard the word.
I do miss AP
I don't
junglers
know.
though. We've barely seen them, right? Like we are seeing around the world like sprinklings of the likes of like a Lilia, Diana, for example, right? And we've been craving, saying just give us some crazy wombo combos. Maybe that's the next angle, right? If you're not going to draft like a Lucian early game comp that can 1v9 because it's perma-banned away, just give us a full wombo combo. It doesn't matter if you're down 10k gold, you got 5 ultimates. Somebody is going to fall on down, so maybe that's your next Hail Mary.
It certainly will. Mary and hail that. Now, at the same
Thank
time, someone that loves Mary and loves great post-game celebrations, we get to hear from him. It's Winterer.
The Herald's going to come across because Falcon wants the ward hop. The Stormbringer across the wall as they engage onto Rogue. That's not the target you want. A shot blast, you can see what it's doing, but they need more! Look at Winterer! He is the difference maker!
Hi, I'm Winter. I'm playing top lane for Pentanet.gg. Yeah, last played, I try to have my own concept as like some sort of clown. But yeah, this split I might try same thing again, but even better, might spice it up. I think it's just my personality, just I love joking around with my mates. Usually I just try to lift the team morale because I think it's really important in team game. No one's doing it, someone else has to do it. So I'm trying to do it all the time. This split, just wanna get top and go to Worlds this year. That's all I want with my teammates. I want them to remember me as best top laner in history. Yeah. To all the esports fans and all the Pentanet fans, I hope you guys enjoy our games. We'll try to produce more banger games.
I enjoy your games, Winterer. I just want you to know that.
I too also enjoy your Woolies bag, Winterer.
I too enjoy your celebrations.
My mic's moved, so I'm just going to mute and fix it.
Are we not all just joining in?
It's working. I can hear you.
Lean in,
Anyway,
let's get-
look,
maybe not.
fortunately, this is the perfect time to have a chat with someone else that's mic is hopefully working. Do you know who's on the line for the interview?
I don't know. We'll have to ask Rogue. Is your mic working? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to make sound with my mouth.
You baited me.
Hey guys,
You baited me. Rogue, don't do that, all right? How you feeling today? How was your weekend, huh?
I'm doing fantastic. It's the weekend? Oh yeah, it was the weekend. All the days are the same when you're an esports player.
Very true.
It's always been the same for me after grinding 2 weeks of solo queue, where I buzzed Rogue and he was like, if I lose this game, I'll play Yuumi. So next time I burst you, you better still have that thing going on. But Rogue, hello, it's me on this side of the couch this time. So coming into an end for Super Week, and you guys didn't have the most ideal results coming out. What did you guys learn, and did your perspective of other teams change?
I mean, it's definitely crunch time, and we still haven't got that result we want. And it's really that point where you gotta have things go well now. So I think we've really gone into overdrive in how seriously we take practice. We've always been a team that takes it very seriously, but now we never even have a minute of time between our games. We're just reviewing nonstop. It's kind of kicked into overdrive, and I think, yeah, I think we care a lot now.
Did anything change with you personally in terms of confidence when you got put on Yuumi duty?
Well, we only won on Yuumi last week, and then the other 2 were losses, and so I just tweeted after every loss, damn, back to Yuumi. So maybe back to Yuumi today, boys. Maybe the 100% win rate stays true.
And talking about support, I know you guys, well, you got banned from Chiefs with 5 support bans. So what if Gravitas bans Yuumi? What do you play?
I'm Super Chad now. I'm Super Chad Enchanter player. It was never a thing I was known for in my career. I was the engage guy, but I've learnt my place. I've learnt my place in the pecking order. Balcon is my overlord, and I will submit. So anything with a heal or a shield, I will play.
Well, if you proposed to me, I would say yes, and then we would be engaged too. But either way, look, I'll let you go. Get ready for the game because it's going to be a hard one. We'll see you later, Rogue.
Thanks, guys.
Good interview.
Everyone goes through that life cycle as a support player.
Yeah.
You play Enchanters one time, you're like, actually, really easy and broken. So, like, you just become an Enchanter main.
It's true.
That's just the way it works.
Kitty, are you an Enchanter main, or are you just like support gang for life? You play whatever works.
I started off as an ADC player, and then my mate was like, you should try Nami. I think Nami really suits you. I'm like, no, I won't play Nami. And then I started playing Nami and I became a Nami one trick for how many years? For, I believe, 6 years. So yeah, enchanters are fun, but don't steal them from me because everyone's been stealing my champions nowadays and banning them.
Look, shout outs to your friend that recommended that as well. You know,
Shout
set you on the
out.
right path. Either way, Dare fan vote time. Get those Twitch points in. I'm sure a lot of people lost their Twitch points last week with all the bloody upsets. So maybe there's a chance, you know, some Gravitas supporters could get that 3% boost. You know, how many times is that? Like 20 times, 50 times the amount of points you're going to get if you're that unlucky. You know, it depends on how the Dare fan vote goes, of course.
Oh, Mac, they could have got a bigger boost if you went for them as well. The one team buff.
I was thinking about it. I was like, one team buff, do I do it?
But
And I
let's
was
be honest,
like,
you're beating Rusty right now and it feels pretty good deep down, yeah?
It does a little bit. It does a little bit. I have seen, I did geese, and I did see a couple of one-team buffs today, but we're not getting it here. Everyone believing in the favorites. PGG, I'm giving them like, look, 90 to 10%. I feel like Gravitas, look, we'll give them a shot today. Of that 10%, there's always a chance for that underdog to take the dub, but I just don't know where it's going to come from. Maybe it is Lenia. Maybe if Lenia plays something that he's more comfortable on, there's a chance for Gravitas, but for the most part, if I'm seeing that Udyr locked in again, I'm happy with my prediction.
Amen, brother. I mean, you have to
Resident Udyr haters here.
if you want to
I
beat
love Udyr, but
PGG, you have to beat them early. You have to beat them by a lot early.
Yeah.
Because that kind of throws them under the bus in how they want to play. And then you also have to have a comp that beats Praetor's late game. So there's a lot of conditions there to meet. I'm just not sure that Gravitas can meet it.
T-Shen, Piglet been looking good in the bot lane, but again, look, going up against Praetor, up against Rogue, it's still just a difficult one for Gravitas to try to fathom, to try to get past. I want to see how Lenia deals with Balkan again, because at the moment there's a lot of junglers that Balkan plays, that Balkan's really damn good at, and all his champs are really strong. So it's just one of those things where every lane you kind of look at for Gravitas, like maybe you give Toppy a chance, just maybe, but at the same time, you're looking at Winterer, who, like last year in one of the splits, we gave him as, you know, one of the most improved, like one of the best in top lane that we've seen. So this man, like, it's so hard in any given role to try to give a one-up to Gravitas here, right?
Winterer was also handling Topoon pretty easily by the end of last split.
Yeah.
In terms of like growth and performance from him in particular, Winterer, when he has his day, can beat the best quite handedly. Yeah.
Toppy also beat the best by solo killing Tapoon, so this is a fair matchup in top lane, Rusty.
Okay, and we will be harsh and fair to Toppy now.
Okay. Do you remember what happened last time Toppy played against Tapoon, though? It was last week.
No, I have goldfish memory. I'm sorry, Mac.
It did not go anywhere
No.
as well for Toppy as that first time. There were no solo kills. There were solo kills.
There was
There
solo
was just
kills.
no
Just on the
solo
other
kills for
side.
Toppy. Either way, let's find out who's playing what today, because Champ Select is ready for game one. Let's get into the action.
Thank you very much there, Mac. Yes, let's find out what happens in this opening game of the night for Week 6 with Gravitas here on the left-hand side, with Rogue not getting a chance to play that Yuumi.
Senna, Yuumi, Seraphine also going to be taken away, as is the Zeri, and Ezreal actually going to be an immediate lock-in here by Thomas Shen. For the side of Gravitas, it's just not a flexible champion anymore, so no expectations that will go anywhere else. It's interesting that Ezreal is a first pick when this is a known counter into that, and you can be hyper-aggressive with your supportive choice here in response.
Yep.
So Kalista, I mean, the flexibility that goes with the Kalista means you don't have to go for your support second, where I think Gravitas now on the other side, a little bit forced towards an Enchanter perhaps to try and look for the next ban phase to get things away from PGG.
This will be our fifth Kalista game of the entire split. About 4 of them, so the majority have always been into that Ezreal. So it certainly has been the case of, you pick that champion, we will punish you. Ezreal still is, by far and large, the most played champion in the AD role by, 10? It's Zeri in second at only 7.
Silas going to be locked in here as well. Skimmy, Swain not picked is up and available, but Silas does really enjoy that matchup, so I'd be surprised to see that locked in as a response. Dajung does feel comfortable on the Silas pick. It's not his first time picking it, and probably won't be his last. In regards to what goes with this, Viego's still there for overall team composition, so that makes sense that they would lock it in. And now Pentanet.gg seeing the Viego, you could go the jungle path if you were worried about your pool being pinched. But I think there's enough just standard AD champions that Balkan isn't particularly concerned. Worst case scenario, he still has the Graves to fall back to. And so they're going to prioritize their support champion here with the Kalista Rakan combo, where you just throw in an altered Rakan, he gets to charm everybody. It's a disgusting combo when it works. And that gives them the opportunity to ban away enchanters that make Ezreal's lane significantly better.
Yeah, any kind of way to mitigate the pressure that this Kalista, or Praetor in particular, is going to be able to output to try and give themselves that laning advantage. I'm expecting aggression already from the fact that is your bot lane pairing, as you mentioned with the Gnar and the Rakan. It's the highway to try and get yourself in and hard shut down the fight before Gravitas can get a little bit too excited about it. Linear did actually play the Viego matchup last time, played that with the Zoe in the mid instead. I guess what I'm seeing from this now is that you want to make sure that Gravitas have this really strong early to mid game comp that can find the resets, can find the item spikes cheaply for the Ezreal to pop off.
I wonder if it, because like I see this Ezreal, right, and I wonder if a Bard's going to follow. I just don't know if, because Piglet's new to the role, I don't think he would.
Wouldn't be a conventional support to
I
pick
think
up
the
in your warehouse.
audacity to pick in Bard as someone that's just switched to the role would be wild. So that's why, like, beyond the Karma, I don't see a ban of merit in the support role, because like Ezreal Lulu's not a combo. Lulu goes with auto attack champions normally, where Ezreal tends to be more of a spell slinger with the auto attacks woven between. Talia banned away. We have seen Belkan pick this, and we know that Yuri can play it. He was exceptional the one time we saw that. And they're also going to get rid of the Graves. So it's funny. I don't think I've seen much from Belkan on Graves that warrants a ban. I think it's just been a fallback pick for him that's something that's safe and free. But seeing the Viego, knowing that there's still other AD jungle options there, like the default thought in my mind is Volibear. I don't know if Belkan plays that one. Trundle exists. And then, okay, so the flexibility of wanting to play AP junglers. For anyone who doesn't really know Belkan's champion pool because of this meta, absolutely loves AP champions. Like, I'm surprised they haven't gone back to Yasuo as their mid laner in this comp with a Diana jungle.
100%.
Because they already have Rakan, Gnar, and Kalista. They could have 100% just womboed here. I'm surprised they didn't, but I'm not too surprised that Nidalee comes up in Belkan's mind.
I feel like Nidalee is one of those champions, much the same, right, as the Ezreal, that you need to be fairly well equipped to play that one. You need the license to be permitted to be said, yep, you can draft that one, you can play it. Shyvana going to come out, right? So that's a fairly exciting pick. We've only seen it once in the jungle. We've seen it a couple of times now in the top lane as well. Seems to be one of those rising picks, even internationally, that's starting to cause a few headaches.
Yeah, we've seen like full tank Shyvanas as well. Dragon priority, obviously a big deal then. And Braum going to be the lock-in here as the 5th pick for Gravitas. There is auto-attack-based champions everywhere in their comp, so Braum can work for the stun passive. Ezreal Braum as a lane does have some potency there. If there's a mistake made by Rogue on his Rakan, could absolutely be punished. Now we have to ask a question, is this Kai'Sa or Kalista mid?
I think this could honestly be Kalista mid. I have seen Yuri been playing it in solo queue, so it could be either way. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen AP Kai'Sa in the mid lane, so I would imagine, just at a guess, Praetor bot lane with the Kai'Sa, and it could just be, yeah, a mid Kalista.
Mid Kalista was also played during MSI, as an aside to that. I believe it was, I think it was the VCS. Played one game of it. I might be wrong on the region, but it was an incredibly aggressive lane-dominant pick. If you cast your mind way back to LPL 2019, I think, might have been 2018, the Shy was playing Kalista top constantly. The reason that it is so good in a solo lane is because you just win prolonged trades so incredibly easily, and if they've got a melee champion, you can flex that towards mid, for example, into the Sylas, and long, protracted trades. Kalista gets more and more threatening. In a solo lane, you can go Ignite if you want to as well, and make sure you have genuine kill threat. That's assuming that it is going to be the Kalista that we see in mid lane. And then, of course, you just pair with your jungler. Your Nidalee jumps in, does a full combo, pull him out, throw him back in again. Cooldowns have refreshed. It's like I never left.
Certainly a rehashed variation, right, of the fact of, chucking in the support in the bot lane. It's much more now an emphasis, a beacon that mid jungle is going to be where we're going to try and find our success. But I think I like really what Gravitas had put together, right? Those first 3 picks we already said, we can see it as the makings of a comp that wants to skirmish, wants Viego resets, wants to cheat tempo with the Ezreal item spikes as well. But the fact you rounded off with a Shyvana and a Braum accentuates the idea that, yes, we want dragons, we want to stack those up as quickly as we can. That is certainly a win condition for us. But anybody that gets locked down, there's a stun, there's uptime for the damage to land. And that's hopefully, much like they said in that interview, right, the way for them to try and patch that mid to late.
And it's interesting for us looking at this composition as to, like, why would you reveal something in a game like this, right? Like, when you're clear favorites, is this a revealing of a strategy? And I don't think it is. I actually think this is just a stage test.
I agree.
So they've just said, we know this works. Let's just play it and see if we can make the same things that we've been doing in practice happen on stage. We've got an AP jungler, so we've got an AD mid top lane. Our comp has some semblance of control about it. Rogue has engaged. Mid was flexible in this draft, and they've decided this is the flexible path that they want to take. And if Kalista is a proven flex pick in future, it's harder to draft against an early Kalista pick.
Certainly is. Certainly going to keep all the teams, all the coaches watching in anticipation, wondering what does this mean and what is our response if we have to actually go up against this one. Let's load into the Rift for that very first game of the night and see what Week 6 has to offer. Well, joining me in line is Chippies from the side of Pentanet. Mate, how are we first of all? But, 3 wins from these last 8 games played. So what do you think's missing from your game currently?
Hey mate, I'm doing okay, but could be better, obviously, because of our past results. I'd say what's missing is we're kind of getting hard baited from scrim results. And even though we're playing stuff I know is bad, it's just working so well that I can turn an eye to it. But now that we're losing to these pretty weak teams, I'd say it's opened everyone's eyes, so we're going to start playing stuff we know stronger.
And is that why we've got this big change up in your draft here today, like the pocket pick Kalista, for instance, and Yuri?
This is different. Yuri's been smurfing like the whole split, and he wanted a Kalista game to de-stress, so we had to give it to him.
Just some casual gaming. Why not? Well, I love that. Quick final note. What about this Nidalee? It's obviously another champion that we just do not see that often.
Yeah, we've seen an AP jungle with the Kalista mid, and Balkan's been doing really well on Nidalee, so that's what he wanted.
So all about comfort. Well, I love that. Well, Chippies, we're going to crack on with this one. Wish you boys the best luck, and hopefully this week is one to cheer about.
Thanks, Cheat. See ya.
Balkan going to immediately make his way through here. No hesitation. One of the unique qualities of Nidalee as a jungler is that she can use the river. However, walked a very greedy path to get as fast as possible to the red and get spotted by a nice ward placed by Gravitas. Also at level 1, I think Yuri tried to steal away a little popcorn chicken or chicken nugget and either attacked the wrong minion by accident or was just pulling it so Viego couldn't touch it at level 1. I'm honestly not sure, but if the goal was to steal away one of them, because that could deny a level 2 off one camp, it messed up the autos and just goes to lane as per normal. Does mean that there'll be a full Raptor camp there for Balkan, however, as he goes blue, red, enemy Krugs, and can immediately either gank bottom because they are pushed. Yuri being ganked. Yep, Yuri's in trouble right now. Lenia looking to try and force a fight, knowing that his jungle has been collapsed upon a flash, a stun, a chance to take out Yuri, who's just going to flash across the wall. And Lenia has no more mobility to chase him through. Dajon was locked in the wave. Here comes Balkan. Oh, never so close on that spear. And Rogue is here just to prevent Gravitas' bot lane from getting angsty as well. Doesn't allow the bait to go any further there. There's a world that Balkan just plays away. Actually flashed? Was that a flash spear? It looked like it. Try and get in range, right? That is... that is adventurous. The man, the myth, the legend. That is indeed a man that made that decision. Hold the flash, let them go forwards. Dajon would have to use E1 to try and hit the chains in the first place, and that would buy enough time for you to be able to make a reaction. Very confusing with the fact that summoners have now been burned, but nicely done by Lenia to make sure that the flash for flash in mid-jungle happened at least. There you go, an extra one for his cause. Why not? Happy days for him. It is worth talking, much like you mentioned, from the draft phase or the champion select as to what this summoner choice would be. Has opted for the exhaust in the mid lane. Could have gone the ignite, but we just don't really tend to see it that much these days. Doesn't need the cleanse. But he certainly wants the 1v1 potential. We can look to try and lock down what that Silas has to offer. So Lenia's gone for a bit of a wraparound, tried to take whatever he can from the enemy jungle. He's going to pop his head in here to mid lane and just give it a little bit of protection, but also to go back to base for that first shot. So mid tends to have a lot of kill threat early, a lot of control. It is the opting towards the exhaust from Yuri, so not going to have immediate lane kill threat. Exhaust is much more of a safe pick, but still, the slow that is provided, the ability to duel with exhaust, it's technically a kill summoner, right, compared to something like the teleport or even the cleanse as options. Overall, Pentanet.gg just farming very well. Really having a good time of it, it's fair to say. A very small note is that Silas can be Kalista. You get the Black Spear at level 1, you can put it on your jungler as well if you wanted, and you can actually equalize. So it does make the dynamic of ganking mid super interesting. Because when you think about it, right, as a jungler, mid is either the easiest or the hardest lane to gank. It is difficult because it is such a short lane that if they're playing defensively, they're so safe under their turret that you can't gank it. However, Kalista pulls you in, throws you at them, so it is easy to gank. But if both of them have a Kalista ultimate, and they both pull a jungler in, it's just a brawl.
It really will be.
We just start A-ramming in mid lane with everyone being thrown into the mix. And I think both junglers are happy with that.
I think at that point it's going to come down to composure and mechanics more than anything, right? The ability to try and make that 2v2 work in your favor. We have certainly seen Linear play a fairly big role in protecting the mid lane to try and equal out what Dajong has found himself in. But the first dragon is going to go the way here for Pensnet. So going to deny Gravitas finding that first little bit of luxury to try and allow the likes of a Shyvana and a Viego to flourish. I don't think that's too concerning or too worrying. I mean, they need level 6 ASAP.
Winter 6.
Certainly is.
No surprises that a Gnar will do that just for some damage, has a level advantage. Gnar ultimate cooldown fairly low, and in terms of uptime, you're not always Mega Gnar anyway, so just use it when you can. Get a bit of wave pushing, get a free base from it, no need to teleport here if you were Winterer. The interesting thing for me, Skimmy, is that after that first gank in mid, Gravitas haven't really done anything. They've just been coasting, but the issue with that is that when they're coasting, they're losing. So they are down in farm everywhere on the map.
Vision the entire time. I mean, look at what where Linear is at the moment. They know exactly his pathing.
Yeah, and he shows himself once, and they just have the measure of where he's going next. From that point onwards, Balkan gets the hard read. And it feels like even a summoner spell advantage that existed from the flash that was burned, not going to amount into anything at all, because the lanes that Linear has to work with are an Ezreal Braum that are being pushed in a little bit more. They have a top lane that's really just non-gankable. It doesn't exist. It's not real until Shyvana's 6 at least, but even then, not going to provide the greatest kill threat.
Looking for it one more time. Gun's going to land. The chains go out. The damage onto Yuri, who's going to look to try and fight back underneath the turret. Cops the turret shot. Actually wants the 1v2! And Yuri made that look so effortless.
That was never a gank, but Yuri makes it look super clean. The exhaust was great, and what he actually does there is throws the rend as he hits a spear. Max damage combo coming out of him. Rogue fancies himself a cheeky death to the turret, but great play from Yuri.
Huge play there. Maybe just, yeah, a little bit of pressure from Linear. Still not level 6. He's a whole level away from getting that one, but felt the measure that I have no camps to take. I need to try and do something. We want to try and stop this Kalista from getting too far ahead. But if you talk about what Chippy's mentioned about comfort and again try and de-stress, a first blood's certainly going to feel good.
Who picks Kalista to de-stress? You know what that's like? He gets relaxation from making others experience pain. Like, that is such a League of Legends player thing to do. It's not relaxing. You know what's relaxing is doing nothing as Yuumi.
That is quite relaxing.
You read a book, be Yuumi, but Kalista is like high APM, high mechanics max, constantly fighting. So he clearly derives enjoyment from making Dajong feel pain.
Speaking of, here he comes. Back from that first blood, just to basically poke his head in and steal away the teddy bear.
Balkan about to say hello to him, might get Mega Nard. Spear just goes a few degrees wide. Just keeps him at bay. That spear actually gets dodged, so that's fair. It's the old Nidalee mind games of, will this spear hit? Am I aiming directly for you? I'm aiming for your Duke. Yeah. The same thing with Thresh hooks. Thresh players always know. Am I throwing this hook out? Thresh has the added advantage of a flay, so you can use distance, but Nidalee just throws big spears.
Big spears on towards this Herald. Second objective that Pensnet have started off here. They want to claim it.
Whoa.
And Dajong has completely flayed that ultimate. Regardless, True Shot Barrage comes down from downtown, but Predator is here first, so Pensnet have a numbers advantage. They're doing it so far. Yuri is fighting his way out of the pit with 1 kill so far. The Korean duo in mid-jungle get both the kills so far, and then Predator gets amongst the chaos, says why not? Double kill for the team. It's not an ace, but they've taken 4.
And they'll take 4 kills. There was only 4 people in the area, and they're all dead. That started, unfortunately, for Gravitas. It ended even worse. Dajong jumps in, tries to Mega Nard them into the wall, straight up misses everything with an air ball. Balkan gets pulled in by Yuri on his Kalista, and that low health person you thought you might be able to squeak a kill on was immediately ripped away. And then Dajong just stuck in the pit. Toppy trying his best, but I mean, it's a tank Shyvana at level 6. It isn't going to provide the most damage with his Barmy Cinder. I mean, the fight was over from the moment the first kill went across, and they couldn't keep Yuri down.
That hurts. The first fight works in that way. Certainly in a 5v4 as well. Numbers advantage. Really working in favour here for Pensnet, who have certainly had their measure with the idea of warding and parving and just tracking in general. And now you've got bounties in the mid jungle. And you've got a very happy Predator with a kill of his own. And already 10 minutes in, we're up by, what, 4k gold already. So certainly in the driving seat.
Now Gravitas are going to try and hold that bot wave on a freeze, but I think in reality what it's going to do is build up into a wave that needs to crash fairly soon as the next wave comes in, depending on how the Ezreal plays this. Piglet also going to press forwards and place Vision into the river when he could be at risk of dying. He wants to get in there and place the ward before they start pushing, so kind of has that vibe. Dangerous place to be on the bottom side of the map. I would like to see Lenia hover their bot lane as the wave gets built up, but with no priority in mid, and with no ability to win the jungle 1v1, to actually stop something from happening here is really difficult for Gravitas. And instead, they're just going to cross over. This could just be a case of abandoning your bottom lane completely if they're not careful, because he crosses through Vision into Vision. And Balkan is walking bottom. Don't say I didn't call this happening.
Spear agonizingly close. Predator still going to try and push this wave as
Rogue.
quickly as he can. Rogue.
What's up with that?
I think that's a bit of a misclick there, Mr. Rogue. You've hit your ult a little bit too early there. If they still look to dive this one, that might be embarrassment. That has now been a hard force.
Rogue a bit of a goose. Spear's not really connecting, but it doesn't matter. Keeps them busy. Rogue's going to hit a knockup for fun, and Yuri comes bottom, so the response from Gravitas is here.
Balkan wants it underneath the turret. Fate's call. Chuck him out. We saw nothing, but if he got it, and he got away with it, that would have been a cool, guys. Do not look at Explosion's moment.
Unfortunately for Gravitas, they can't get any kind of purchase into this area. They can't really find any way in. Yuri is cheesing, but Piglet's going to sweep his way through, and they'll do their due diligence to at least stop a cheese play from happening. Still almost happens, actually. What's Piglet up to? He wanted that ward so bad that he was at risk of dying from it. That's what we'll note. His ward is easy. He's right.
I'm just enjoying and watching, really, at the moment. Nothing needs to be said.
Yuri's got the pickles. Is it pickles, cucumbers on his eyes?
Why not?
I say pickles.
Why not? Sure. Forget about cucumbers.
Cheeseburgers on his
reinvent
eyes.
the health and beauty.
Mayo for moisturizer.
I just imagine that would sting.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good. I'm upset I said it.
Ah, here we go. Thomas Shem, you may just be in trouble. That turret is gone, and, well, you may be gone as well. A spear, a pounce, a swipe, and a good night.
I think quite simply, Gravitas just don't really know where to be on the map. The second that Lenia passed to top side, crossing through and not protecting his bot lane, it was doomed. They're looking for Praetor.
Yeah, they're looking for it onto Praetor, as you say. He's gone for the cleanse, the quickness, with that killer instinct into a flash as well, burning literally every bit of mobility just so he didn't die to the meme. Rogue says this is how you use that ultimate.
Oh,
the spear misses
Balkan.
again. Balkan. One of them will hit.
I mean, probability states it has to.
Of course.
Eventually, right?
It will hit, and when it does, it's going to be majestic.
This is the LEC, and we're watching Yankos live. I mean, genuinely, I can count one spear that is genuinely connected, but that was on someone that was crowd controlled. And that last person was crowd controlled and still missed.
Person could be crowd controlled as well. Balkan's back again. I'm not going to try and do whatever he can to
spear
get the
hit.
kill. There's a spear in melee range and a pounce. And Piglet is gone.
Simple stuff once again from Pentanet.gg. This spear can't miss. It can miss.
Okay.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You've lied to me.
He's got NA ping.
You are the voice of
NA
authority.
That spear can't miss.
What I somehow did, but the Everfrost goes out, and the Fate's Call is used as well. The turret is destroyed, the exhaust onto Dajong, but the fight is coming to a bit of a close here as he's stacking up those spears and looking to unleash pain with the rain. They'll find one, but it is Balkan that picks it up now, the most kills in the game at 5. And Yuri is just doing happy feet, dodging the spear, dodging the skill shots, and dodging his way out to safety.
He really is flourishing on this pick, having a very happy game. He's having a great time. Now they're going to get themselves a lot of freedom to move on the map at this point. Toppy without the ultimate on Shyvana's not going to be able to do too much in defending this turret. And they're actually going to take the turret and the Rift turret at the exact same time. Winterer just ticks over to Meganar, is able to get into the fight if it would break out immediately and follow through. That's already halfway gone and they're not contesting.
Already gone at that point, 15 minutes in. Far too strong are Pentanet right now. They're up by 8,000 in gold. They've got both Drakes and both Heralds. They've literally got everything the game has to
Just a
offer.
casual 8k at 15.
Why not? So, what could have been the ideal dream here for Gravitas and stacking up those
Yuri's
Drakes to
salty.
make sure Toppy is strong as possible to try and get those resets there with the Viego. Hasn't worked out the way they would have liked.
If I was Yuri, I'd stop his base even if I die at this point. Thomas Shen earned it. That was an eye for an eye. The Ezreal ultimate stopped Yuri from basing. Look what happens.
Both just recall on wards.
Toppy must be close to an item or something. This is... He just willingly, as an ADC, gave up a cannon wave to his Shyvana.
Don't see that often.
And that, to me, is like, even if you're playing for the Drake, he stayed a wave too long because his base got cancelled anyway. Like, I don't know how much tempo this is worth. We'll see, because you get back into the map faster. There is certainly an advantage in that.
Yeah, doesn't have a TP, but is sprinting back nonetheless with a first strike and an exhaust. So, if anybody gets in his close proximity or
Herald.
too close up his business,
Just going to get straight up summoned mid. To contest this one from Gravitas would require something quite special, as the Ezreal is farming mid regardless. And now all I see with this objective being secured is a cannon wave gone to waste for a Shyvana instead of an Ezreal.
oh, Praetov's going to look to try and take out Thomas Shen, who instantly used that exhaust I mentioned and won't die in the mid wave in a 1v1. There's another spear. Hallelujah. And the Herald is finally going to look to leash that headbutt on through. Bang, and the turret is gone. Dajong missing the spears. He's propped the quickness. There's the Everfrost. He's only going to be a one-man charm. But Rogue answers back and does the exact same to him. Lenia forced to ult away. It's a heartbreak for him, but not the kind he would have wished for. Fate's call. Zones it, absorbs all the pressure that Gravitas put right into Balkan, and they just press forward. Yuri now on 4-0-4. The damage has certainly been found.
And Pentanet.gg just quite simply tear them apart. One really nice advantage that I hadn't considered is that with Nidalee Kalista, you don't need a Zhonya's if you have Kalista ult. So it lets you go much more greedy with your itemization choices, go straight to the ability power if you wanted to. This is a world where I watch a Why Not stream. He has a Lich Bane, but the damage is what matters because you don't need the Zhonya's there. And easy team fight from him, right? Where you see this Nidalee go absolutely crazy. Just looks like he's dying for the positioning, but Yuri will rip him back, will save his life. And that's really all it comes down to. The engagement from Gravitas here was quite bad. Braum ultimate not going to do anything but zone them. The Stylus engage had already missed. And look at Balkan, so far from his team. A Zhonya's is possible there, but a Kalista ultimate even better. And then they just hit the Rakan and Kalista combo to follow that one up, the double knockups that are there. Team fight, very easy. BGG.
I think Balkan just acting like a bit of a taunt totem in that occasion.
Taunt
Basically
totem.
saying, three of me, come at me. What are you going to do? Oh, wait, you can't actually touch me. Bit of a low JK moment with the ultimate there from the Kalista, right? So certainly allowing him to be as aggressive as he would like to be. Shadow Flame coming out now as well. And no surprise, most fed in the game. Bit of a standout performance from these two Korean players.
I feel like that's been true for most of the split for Yuri as well. He's been having a very nice split too. It was quite shaky when he first joined the LCO at the start of the year. But I think this split in particular has really found his way, at least in terms of performance. And then of course the rest of the team very easy to pull along. But last week was an example of Yuri and the team struggling to help him. Right, that massive Silas performance from him. But now he's putting a Silas in the bin. Compliments of a Kalista pick.
Why not? Time to make it all come together. A 4-1 split. Baron hasn't even spawned yet, but the fight is certainly about to take place here. As Dajong once again steals away the Nara, shoves Balkan into the wall, who just refuses to die! He's still alive, Rusty! He has got out, and Dajong is flashing because he feels embarrassed, but gets knocked up by Rogue. It says, you can't touch my jungler. I will submit for him, like he said in his interview. Balkan's still running, but a flash to try and chase after. Everybody coming back to protect him, and the VIP is still deathless.
Dajong really wanted that kill, but 0-4-0 and no damage in his items means that he's just not going to have enough gas in the tank with Rogue sitting there ready to support. CC combo comes through, and the rest of Pentanet.gg get into the mix. They do pick themselves up Yuri. That was the part of the fight we didn't get to see too much of, but the turret contributed, and Ezreal ultimate contributed, and he starts the fight at half HP. And it is as simple as Lenia hitting the ultimate on someone who was already quite low. And Balkan scrapes away. Darjung flashes and says, I will at all costs secure this kill. Balkan hits him with a jiggle. Doesn't matter. 7 jiggles in. It's still going to hit the chains because you've kind of put yourself in a corner, but no damage means it was a bait all along.
It really did feel like a bit of a left-right good night without even landing a punch, because ultimately the rest of the team came on to make it a bit of an unfair fight. A bit of bullying. But hey, thankfully, Gravitas do pick up their first kill in this game. He's going to go towards the Shyvana. Maybe not the target you want if you are after that hard carry to try and influence the game.
But hey, that needs
at this point, you'll take what you can. Much like Balkan, we'll take another kill.
He's worth 176 gold, and it's only getting lower. Baron to be kicked off almost bang on 20 minutes here. Ezreal ultimate will probably come through and confirm this one is still being done in a couple of seconds. If not, that is because Thomas Shen is going to try and use his ult to steal it. We'll see how he goes.
Gone.
Quite off. Extremely off.
There it is.
The most off.
That's like Internet Explorer, right?
Yeah, that was some dial-up.
Hey guys, it was New Year's, wasn't it? No, it's actually July.
Teleport coming through. Do they have any kind of means to contest this soul? Toppy's got Shyvana ult. Shyvana likes Drakes. It would be nice if they were able to contest this one to give Toppy something. Yeah,
Dragon's Descent comes out nice and early. He's got a great wrap around here. Bit of flank damage. Only going to land on Nidalee, not the target they're after. Rogue with a one-man charm. Actually putting all their attention in towards Piglet. Lenia's dying off screen. Winter jumping, getting close to Mega. Praetor assassinates them in the backline as he jumps in because he has literally got that killer instinct. And now they want the ace. There it is, the first of the game. Forget the Infernal Soul. It looks like they're TPing into Enfree bot.
Yeah, the teleport with the Baron buff here for Winter. Definitely something that will help at least accelerate this push. I don't know just how quickly they can do this. Death times are still pretty low. But now that Praetor's here, it'll be a minimum inhibitor. Probably enough time for 2 turrets as well. I do think that they have enough here, Skimmy. They should just be able to end.
Well, let's see what it can do with this one wave, with a cannon and with a Baron buff. That turret eviscerated, gone without a chance to even really fight back. Okay, second turret will be held, but thankfully for them, a mid-wave has been prepped, so that's 2 inhibitors at least.
I guess the question becomes, do they need to reset? They have so much money, they are missing a bit of mana and HP. It would be worth a quick base to just hard push top lane into winning, but they're strong enough that they don't realistically need to. We'll watch this fight one more time. Rogue just all-ins on a Braum. Winter and Yuri just take Lenia out of the fight completely. And then Balkan gets into the backline with Praetor. They're able to just assassinate everybody. Roles don't matter when you're far enough ahead. Everyone's an assassin. And everyone on Gravitas just get absolutely assassinated.
Certainly do. Just, they're vibing. They're having a great time. And why wouldn't you with a scoreboard looking like this?
Hey, you know what else looks good on a scoreboard? Control wards in every player's pockets.
You're a happy man, aren't you?
It's synergy.
You can roast the MVP at the end to see how many were used.
Roast Balkan, now he's just placed it. He doesn't have one left. Noob.
This does actually feel like a really hard game to try and figure out who the MVP is. I'm looking towards mid and jungle.
That's what I'm saying.
Not sure what the criteria would be to try and give it to either or.
It's probably Yuri.
I'm quite vibing with the Yuri pick. First Blood, Alpha Chad, Kalista mid.
Man's is moisturized and flourishing. He's in his lane. Pick me Kalista. I am angry gaming. I want to relax with the highest APM possible on a single champion choice, where every auto attack is 2 clicks instead of 1. Relaxed. That's the guy who unwinds playing a rhythm game.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's just see what happens here. Because Pentanet really are knocking on the front door one more time. I mean, the back door's already broken, so the base is already in complete tatters, but...
Supers are crashing now, Skimmy, so worst case scenario, you've got bot supers about to crash. No matter how much time you purchase for top lane, they have lifesteal on Yuri, they have sustain on Balkan with the heals as well. They should just be able to push in now.
Rogue's pulled the switch. There's the trigger. A 2-man knockup with a charm as well. And Darjung steals away the Naro. Fate Squad once again denies them of that second kill.
Pentanet on the back foot, looking to try and disengage away. Winter only halfway towards Mega, so he needs to build it up as quickly as he can. He's carding, he's auto-attacking, he's turning right back around at them. The spear just a little bit too late, and Praetor finds a moment and an opportunity to take out Piglet. There's the missile across the wall, another projectile too. Gravitas, they have to get back to the base.
Yeah, now they're stuck on defensive duty, but they also need to go back to the fountain to get some health back, and I don't think Pentanet.gg are going to give them a chance, give them a respite. Spear confirms it is basically just game.
25 minutes in, and it is a do-or-die situation, and one that certainly feels like you will just die. Winter goes golden, denying Thomas Shen of that second kill in the game for the team as a whole. Side sips another Mystic shot, falls out of Flash, and there is the consolation prize, but Pentanet are just far too strong, and will farm those stats just a fraction more. Another Dragon Form, another chance to do a little bit of damage. They're trying to trim the wave rather than actually trying to, prevent Pentanet from killing them inside their fountain. They're having fun with it. The Supers will seal the deal, and we kick-started off with a bang for PGG.
Pretty clean result. I mean, again, it's expected results here for game number 1 this week of the LCO. The favorites do take down Gravitas. Not too much, honestly, looking at that game to really speak towards for Gravitas at all. They just kind of were losing everywhere from the first 4 minutes of lane. They were down in farm across the board, and then Balkan had the easiest job of his life to play with 3 winning lanes.
Yeah.
He just picked one, and it worked.
It was kind of awkward with like the jungling because they really had
Wow.
a complete understanding of where Lenia was at any given moment, and they try and force a fight without level 6 there, and they just lose. Yuri gets the first blood on the 2v1, and you're thinking, okay, they have to contest one of these objectives. They go for that first Herald, and it's just like a 4v5 complete annihilation.
We were just watching how coordinated it was between Balkan and Yuri as well. Even from the start, that first ward, that invade onto the red, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew that Lenia started top. They just had the whole, they had a handle on the whole damn game. And even, look, this was ridiculous. I'm watching this thinking, yeah, there's absolutely no way. And then Yuri on half HP, he's going forward, he's still going forward. And as you mentioned, Skimmy, there was that last right click as well as the Ren, just to secure that first blood. And then look, it was just downhill for me. I thought there was definitely going to be a kill for Gravitas in this fight, just looking at the health bars of everyone. But at the same time, again, that Kalista ult was too damn good. Balkan, the movability, the mobility coming through there with the NID was just way too much. And somehow they all survive, and the game was almost perfect except for that one death, which did, or 2 deaths that did come down.
2 at the very end, yeah.
Well, Yuri is definitely a man that is very fond of Kalista with his mechanics. He knew the damage precisely, and the way he was just kiting around these 4 melee champions kind of just made them look like they were just being played with. I think Kalista does work into these comps where if you do mess up mechanically, which is like, missing a Braum Q, the Kalista really gets to flourish and pop off as Yuri did.
Yeah.
And I think just poor Lenia, because he got, I think the first 2 red buffs were just gone because of that invade. And I do really like the wards that Yuri does place for his junglers for those invades. And I was kind of talking to Mac about this. You will never win a Smite 50-50, even if Balkan doesn't have Smite, because they have a Kalista in Italy. How do you outsmite that?
You don't.
With hope.
Yeah, hopium.
With hopium.
A little bit of
Amounts of
hopium. Maybe. Having a look at the total damage dealt. Having a look at the difference in gold.
Oh my god, Viego stats.
Skimmo's bloody snuffing on that copium right now, isn't he?
I'm huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
The big bad wolf.
Just a lot going on. Look, there was some interesting things. I was very surprised when we did get to see that Shiv top again. I heard it's pretty prominent recently in solo queue. We got to see a little bit of it last week, and it didn't do terribly in top. You just have to sort of sit back and allow the Na to sort of do its own thing anyway. Farm under your tower, so you're always going to be in that losing lane like initially, and then once you hit your level 6 power spike, that's when you can sort of come online. But the issue was, there was just such a gap everywhere already that even if the Shiv did come online, it's like too little too late, right?
I do want to mention that Thomas Shen was able to do 18k damage on his Ezreal, and I do think that he is better on the Ezreal compared to his other champions. And 18k, if we compare it to the Viego that did 4k, I think that he did try his best, his absolute best.
Yeah.
But yeah. Maybe next time his Ezreal will pop off.
Yeah, next time indeed. Now, I believe we have someone on the line. It's your best friend, your favorite top laner, Kitty. Who's that?
It's the green bag man himself, Winterer. So, Winterer, congratulations on the win. All of us on the couch have been talking about how you are a really highly rated player. So who do you think poses the biggest challenge for you when it comes to the laning phase?
For top lane, I think everyone's really good. Like I can't just mention one person. Like Bio's good, Leaf's good, Tupin's good, Tien's good. I think everyone's really good right now. So I think there's no one to look down.
So you think top's just like a stacked role? Now, quickly, I had a question lined up for Rogue earlier, but we had to cut the interview short. So I'll ask you instead. If you had to rate the communication of your team out of 10 at the moment, what would you rate it?
Probably 5 for Pentanet.
Okay. So there's definitely some room for improvement still.
Yeah, we'll make it 10 by the end of the year.
Okay, true.
A 10. Well, something that is a 10 is your entertainment levels. And we do know that you love being entertaining in those player cams. So I do want to know what inspires you to come up with these creative acts for these post-game celebrations.
Well, watching people like ML kinda like inspire me to do something like clowny, funny. But nowadays my idea is just running out, so I'm on like hard time now.
I've got a perfect idea though. You've already used the Woolies bag, so maybe Cole's bag next week, if there's one close to you, of course. Anyway, we'll let you go. Enjoy the W to bounce back off the couple of losses from last week. But there you go. See you later, Wintro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Always a tasty dub. Any dub's tasty here in the LCO, especially with all these third place teams. That win, of course, takes Pentanet that little step up and puts them into second for the moment. They might be joined by Order later on today. They might lose that tie with Direwolves if Direwolves take the dub. It's just one of those things, right? This leaderboard is just constantly shifting.
Certainly is, and that's what's going to make these next few days super exciting, because I think a lot of these teams are actually going to be versing one another, right? So it's going to be a case for the head-to-head matchups, but also just to see, okay, we don't want to have literally 6 teams all tied in the middle thinking, who is the best? Nobody knows. We want to actually get some concrete answers, and that's what we'll find out.
That's what we need to find out right now is who was the best in that game for the Dare MVP.
Yuri.
Even though he was the one that died.
Yeah.
Yeah?
He's the king.
Yeah, because he's also the one that got the 1v2 kills.
Big gap.
He was the most explosive player
Impact.
on the team for sure.
Saved Balkan
Can't be
from going
Balkan.
under towers multiple
10%
times.
spear hit rate, can't get MVP.
You guys were going real hard on his spear hit rate.
What else was there to talk about?
True. Either way,
nothing
their
else.
MVP for the first game of the day is Yuri, showing us what Callista can do in mid. 6-1-9 with a 62% KP and a decent share of that damage as well, Kitty.
6-1. A really great KDA coming out of the young player himself. And I do know that he loves his Callista. He did carry me once on his Callista. And let's just say that I do want to see more of this because it's just such a... What would you actually say Callista's a good matchup into for mid lane?
Close range.
Close range. Phyllis?
Yeah. I mean, melee champions for sure. But like anything that you can hit. And because if you're hitting them, like you'll out-trade them.
So it's not good into Yuumi. Because you can't hit a Yuumi.
If there's another person with Yuumi in that lane. But that's a bigger issue, Kitty.
Yes, the mid Yuumi tech. I cannot wait to see that one.
Gotta love that. Remember when Yi got like fed in mid with the
Yi Tarek?
funnel?
Yeah, Yi Tarek funnel.
Yeah.
Ooh, missed those.
Very
Anyway,
Don't
we
miss
have
it.
some from the fans to have a quick look at before we jump on into the break. So let's see if you guys can stump us at LCO on Twitter if you have any questions. What is Swain's Raven's name from Ryza Unlisted?
Can we just take a stab at Nevermore? The standard Raven name?
Yeah, I'm down. And if it's
Bert.
not, you've stumped us. Congratulations.
Daryl.
The Raven's name is Emelg.
Oh, it actually,
True.
we have the answer. It starts with B.
Bemelg.
True.
Bronson.
Right, let's have a look at one more real
Bird.
quick.
Bronzina.
Bird.
His name is Bird. Boris.
Oh, we know this.
Oi, oi, oi.
We know
it's
this.
you. It's you,
Oh my God.
Carbon. It's you. When did you send this one in?
Well, I'm not going to answer this one because obviously I know what a Cloud Drake does because I'm a jungler and I'm a Lee Sin one trick. And yeah, everything's great.
True. What does Cloud Dragon do? It's the question that we asked last week.
Because we stumped ourselves.
We didn't. did anyone actually go and check?
I checked.
I
Yeah,
started
I
to
checked as well.
And what is it?
Skimmy knows.
So you got
he's confident.
slow resist and out of combat movement speed.
Yeah.
But no ult cooldown reduction.
That's the soul.
No, it's alt. No, the soul
don't
is
get-
alt movement speed.
That's right. That's what I mean.
yeah. It's
Yeah, there's
No,
no.
because they removed it right
Yeah,
for
they
the, they
removed it.
removed it for the
Cooldown
slow
anymore.
tenacity.
they
That's
used
the
to
change.
have it, and it's not there anymore. But
Yeah.
they do have the hit people move faster.
The slow resist stuff. That's
Yeah.
what they changed it out for.
Anyway, good flex, son. Thank you very much.
Wow.
What is Os Carbon's KDA
Starts
and
with a
pro
0.
play? Does it actually start with a 0?
Well, it'd be 0 point something most likely, yeah. Given that in his career he played tanks that engage primarily, I would give him a 0.6 KDA at best.
0.8.
Does that include assists though? Because I feel like tanks get
Yeah,
like, lots of
KDA includes
assists.
assists.
Oh, okay.
0.999
historically always
reoccurring.
winning.
of
Carbon,
course.
I'll give you 2.
0.2
KDA.
71.
Who's too good?
I'm going to look this up.
Well,
wanna find it
we'll
out
look that
right
up.
now.
And fortunately, I think it's time for a break. We'll find some answers to all these questions because there's been a
Googling.
damn lot of
Just
them.
watching him Google.
And while I talk, Skimmy's Googling. Do you think you can find it fast enough before I throw to a break?
No shot. He's still
Oh,
on
I've typed
Google.
in Carnon, not Carbon. It's actually ruined. Go to break. Save me.
Carbonara. Well, what was Carbonara's KDA?
Well,
It's a 10.
many
Exactly.
carbs.
It's time for a break. Ladies and gents, don't go too far. Game number 2 of the day is coming up just after this. It's Peace against the Chiefs.
Not going to provide the greatest kill threat.
looking for it one more time. Gun's going to land. The chains go out. The damage onto Yuri, who's going to look to try and fight back underneath the turret. Pops the turret shot. Actually wants the 1v2! And Yuri made that look so effortless.
Hey, look, menu pop.
2, 1, reveal.
You both did the same thing.
So, okay.
Eggs.
No. Okay,
Eggs.
so Jax loves to use Trinity Force. Right? So he's got the Trinity sauce on his halal snack pack, bro.
I'll rate that.
That's good. That is genuinely, that's very
Skimmy,
good.
you get 3 points.
It's pretty good, no?
Eggs.
One for each of the
Eggs.
sauces.